hello, Boreda. Nice to see you. Tonight we are for the big treat. We're having Neville Southall. He's been a really very known football player, a keeper of Everton team and other teams. He's MBE, former Welsh international. Please allow me to introduce all your statistics, Nev. Former Welsh international keeper, 92 caps, former Footballer of the Year in 1985 of the current Premier League. He played for Everton between 1981 and 1998, 578 caps, and in total 710 with all clubs. First Division Championship 1984-85, 1986-87, 269 clean sheets. So, and FA Cups 1983-84, 1994-95, Charity Shield 1984, 1985, 1995, European Winners, European Cups Winners Cup 1984, 1985, BBC Wales Sports Personality of the Year, and also you created your own book, which you issued in 2012, which was called the Binman Chronicles. So I'm actually keen on getting this book and reading it at some point. Apologies that I haven't done it now. And also you, when you finished your football career, you turned to teaching. So I understand you are a teacher, or you've been teaching first in London, later on in Wales. You are also a member of the trade union, UNISON, and you also endorsed a Labour Party, Jeremy Corbyn in the national election 2017. Well done to you. And also you active supporter of various charitable causes, including LGBT rights. And yes, and then also you allow your Twitter account to be taken over by several groups, members of LGBT, drugs, helplines, suicide bereavement, sex workers, etc. And most importantly, you are a lovely fella with a good sense of humor. So yeah, so how are you? How things are with you? What you up to these days? Really, tell me really. You know, whatever you want to start with. So.
At the moment, I have just started a new job.
Yeah.
Which is for Blaenau Gwent Authority, which is in the Welsh Valleys. And my job is to help people either get ready for work or back into employment. So we're just trying to set that off at the moment. We're just waiting for some referral forms, and then that's where we're away, and then hopefully help 20 or 30 people get either ready for work or back into work.
That's amazing, because you see, I've been in those situations myself. So it's an amazing gesture from you to give a helping hand to people who had all the stops and starts in the professional careers for several reasons. And it's amazing, really, that you devote your time, really. So yeah, hopefully, you know, you will be rewarded one day by these people or somebody else.
Well, it's a job, and I like to do things like that. But you know, mental health plays a massive part in employment these days. So some people are not quite ready to go back to work. Some people find it really difficult to get into work. And even when you're in work, there's a lot of anxiousness about your job, whether you can keep it, whether the firm or whoever you work for is a solid firm, and whether you have to get out before they go under. So yeah, it's been probably now is probably the worst time that anybody's had in their working lives.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so yeah, I was always curious what is driving your kindness to be so kind to people. You know, I remember I watched lots of your interviews on YouTube and elsewhere. You've been always kind of like a bit of a loner, you know, keeping yourself to yourself, but at the same time you've been really kind to people, you know, and then when you were playing, you would never retaliate with anyone, really. You would just respond with kindness. So what is your main motivation goal to be so kind?
Well, why shouldn't you be? I think this day and age we've lost a lot of communities because of the way things have been done by, I think the last 13 years of this government have driven people apart. You know, you can see it with the asylum seekers, with the boat people, you can see it in the LGBT community.
Yeah.
You know, they've done all sorts of things to try and get them wiped out at times. So I think, isn't that what people are supposed to be? It's not supposed to be nice to each other.
Yes.
A big thing. I just think it's, you're brought up by your mother and father to help other people, aren't you? I think most people are. They're just circumstances that take you away from everything else. And I think the way the world is at the moment, people need more kindness than hate, don't they? And if you're being called woke now, it's only because you're nice to people, and surely that's what you're supposed to be, isn't it? Why should you be angry? Why should you be hostile? We've got nowhere with wars. We've got nowhere with invading countries. We've got nowhere with being nasty to people. So maybe it's better to try it the other way.
Yeah, I suppose. For some people, it's harder to be nice, but you know, some people need to learn to be nice, I suppose.
Well, look, if you want to be treated nicely, then you've got to be nice to people. And you know what I learned in football was, you meet the people on the way up to where you get to, but you're sure meet people on the way down as well. So, you know, we're all trying to do what we're trying to do, aren't we? We're all trying to make a living. We're all trying to live a nice life. It's an incredibly difficult time. And I just think it's, why can't you just be a good person? I don't see the problem with being okay with people. You've never done nothing to me, so why should I be unkind to you?
Yes.
There's no reason in the world why I should be nasty to you, is there? So why should I bother?
Yes. Let's start how we've met, actually, to the audience, really. We kind of got to know each other surprisingly on Twitter. I remember your post like today. I think it was back 2018 or 2019. You posted this on Twitter that trans people, which I consider myself happily, trans people are superheroes. And I actually like that tweet. And I just thought, why this very known guy supports trans people? Surely he's gonna lose his reputation. Lots of people, you know, keep things under carpet, and then you kind of like didn't care. Or it was really inspiring for me. So I started tweeting, you know, responding to your tweet. That's how we started our dialogue conversation, which was really amazing. And then, to be honest, it was really like, you know, I felt really like somebody. So yeah, speaking to someone really known, of really high profile, but at the same time, really like seeing from your side really was interesting, you know, because you never felt someone better or more experienced, just a person really, you know, being on the other side and someone who's ready to talk.
Well, how do I know what it's like to be trans? I don't, but what I do think is that if you're transitioning into the person that you want to be.
Yeah.
Right? And so that means that you're telling everybody exactly who you are. And in this day and age, nobody does that. They all hide behind something. They all got a mask. With trans people, they're basically standing up and going, "Here I am. This is what I am."
Yeah.
So it's incredibly hard to do, because I know some of the problems that you've had. You know, whether it's employment, whether it's Twitter, whether it's social media, whatever it is. You come out and say you're trans, that's a big decision. That's a really courageous decision, and I think it's one of them where people should be admired for doing that, because you're not trying to hide. You're actually coming forward and saying, "Look, this is me. You either like it or you don't, and I don't really give a shit."
Yeah. I mean, every day I get sometimes like a nudge or like a spike from some people, like mostly on social media, even or members of the public. But you know what helps me? Having positive people around me like you and other my friends, and having really good sense of humor. That's how I, you know, tackle those situations really. So obviously I had to leave few people behind, members of the family, old friends. They kind of moved on. I moved on. I found new friends, and then that's what it's all about. And like you said, finding yourself, like your unique side, your unique appearance, your new image, etc. Really, and trying to repair, you know. And my actually main goal or my drive is just to be grateful, because lots of people just they complain, but I'm grateful for what I achieved. I've got a job, I've got place to live, you know, I've got good friends, and I think this I'm trying to share as well on social media. So yeah.
I just think it's a day and age where people on social media, if you say it's black, they say it's white. If you say it's raining, they say it's sunny. They
Yeah.
always agree. But what you do need is you need to have good friends, right? And you need to have support. And the number of times people I speak to that don't have that support system,
Yeah.
they live alone. They have, you know, they have a few friends, but not many, because society's not ready, or doesn't seem ready to accept that people are people. You know, how can you ever reach your potential by being somebody else? You can't.
Yeah.
You can't. It's not possible. If you're yourself, you can reach your potential. If you're somebody else, you're never going to do that. So for me, it's about the person being the person. Nothing else matters. Just be the person, and then you can achieve what you want to achieve. But if you've got something to hide, or you've got something that you're worried about, or you've got something that's going to stop you getting on, then that's not right. You've got to be who you've got to be, because life's too short. Nobody knows when it's going to end, do they? So you got to enjoy
Yeah.
it while you can.
Yeah, take it the best. Okay, let's talk about football. You know, your exciting career. You know, my first memory of Premier League, I think, from what I remember, it was like secondary school, 1990s. But I never followed Everton. Apologize. So I started catching up with the Premier League since 2004, really, when I moved to the UK. So I was born in Poland, as you know. And then when I got to know you and I looked at your statistics and I said, oh, sugar, this guy was big. You know, this guy was big in football. You know, he played, 15 years for Welsh team. He played 17 years for Everton. He must have been good, you know. And then when I started watching your videos, your saves, you've done well. There were incredible saves, really. Which one was your best? Tell me.
I don't have one, because
Yeah,
I always make one better, and I
yeah,
never. So I never worry about what I've done. It's
yeah,
only what I can do next. So if
yeah,
I'm save, then I want to make a better save, then a better save, then a better save,
yeah,
and that's all I'm bothered about. I never
yeah,
try to look back. I look back on the mistakes and seeing where I could go get better. But if I've made a save, I've made a save. So
yeah.
I looked at all the goals that were the best goals in the league
Yeah,
and tried to work out how to stop them.
yeah. I mean, I like your style. You would always be so proactive. You would be very lively in the goal. You would go forward really to stand at the front of, a striker and kind of cut the angles really, and being quite, trying to grow big, huge at the front of him just to block the corners really, and then being really, good with legs, very flexible, jumping, etc. Really, and then. It might be another stupid question. I apologize. Your favorite game, football game that you had, where for Wales or for Everton or for any other team, the most memorable, really.
Which is the Bayern Munich Winners' Cup semi-final at Everton. We drew 0-0 away in Bayern Munich, and it
Yeah,
wasn't a game, to be fair. But when we turned up at the ground, it took us 45 minutes to actually get in the dressing room. There was that many people there.
right.
So and then we went a goal down, and then we just played purely British football, and it was a fight. There
Yeah,
was low class. There was a lot of aggression, but there was a lot of passion, a lot of style, and I think that game really reflected what the city of Liverpool was about. So
yeah,
you get some games where I think if we'd have played away the second leg, we'd have probably got beat. But being at home, second leg, I just thought it was the best game I've ever been in. The
yeah,
atmosphere was fantastic. I've
yeah,
never met anybody who wasn't at the game yet.
yeah,
So our crowd must have been about 5 million,
yeah,
because everybody you ask is there. So yeah, I think for that, I actually remember playing in Poland, and it was a funny experience, because they put us on a motorway in Poland. I can't remember where it was. So they
yeah,
put a hotel on the motorway. So it was really noisy overnight. And then he
Yeah.
moved us to a holiday camp, which was a bit run down.
Yeah.
And then the drive from the holiday camp to the ground was the maddest drive we've ever had, because the police just pushed everybody off the road.
Yeah.
As fast as we possibly could, straight through all the people. There was cars flying everywhere.
Yeah.
It was funny. It was a really funny experience for us to see all of that. And then you get in there, and there was lots of military there.
Yeah, it was. I bet it was in 98 when we had still like Russians, you know, influencing Poland. So that's why that's the presence of military and police. Really, you know, you came really as our guests, but any country from the West, they were not seen by Russians as the same case.
Oh, I know, because when my first ever game for Wales was away into the BC, so we flew into Riga to refuel.
Yeah.
He put us in a little room and wouldn't let us out while they refueled. Got on the plane. It took us 6 hours to get through customs at Moscow, and then we got another plane to Tbilisi. And in the hotel, you either had a plug in your sink or you had curtains in your bedroom. You didn't have both. So, and then when we got to the game, I mean, I was substitute then, but everyone in the ground was military. Everyone.
Yeah.
There wasn't a normal person in the ground. They were all uniform, all that, and that was all about intimidation. And then the next day, we got up to go home, and it was foggy, so we couldn't leave for another 3 or 4 hours.
Oh gosh.
So, you know, for my first trip, it was a long trip, but it was good, to be fair. So, yeah, we've had some weird experiences with Wales.
Yeah.
You know, Everton's a bit different, but everywhere in the Eastern Bloc countries, like Kazakhstan and places like that, it was always $50 to get in.
Yeah, very cheap, but you know, really not really the like social levels. Yeah.
They always went on the way out cash, $100 per person. And if you didn't have it, you weren't getting out.
Yeah.
So they just made their money on the way out, and it was just, you know, it was, you know, we went to Romania, and the people in the hotel was pinching the brown sauce and red sauce off the tables. Is when Ceausescu was in charge of Romania, and it was just, it was, when you go to places, it's horrible to see that, you know, we're in a nice hotel, but the rest of the place can be terrible. We went to Georgia, and we had a fantastic hotel built by the oil, but the rest of the place outside was meat on the trees as butchers and things like that. And it was just, you know, when you have such a contrast in what people have and what people haven't in some of them countries, it's mind-blowing sometimes.
Yeah, it was actually a massive, the whole system was fake. From what I remember talking to my dad, you know, people at the top, they would be having lavish life. People at the bottom, they would be living in the poverty already. So if you were at the top through your communist party, you would have access to anything. Seriously, anything. But you know, I've seen bananas first time in my life, when real bananas, when I was 15 years old. Can you believe it? That's how it was. Yeah.
So, no, I can believe that. And then you when you come home, you realise what you've got in Britain. You know, all the Eastern Bloc countries, the people on the ground, the normal people, fantastic people. The higher up you go, the worse they get, because they're trying to protect their way of living. Instead of the people at the bottom what they need, they kept it for themselves, and that's not right. And that's why most people got overthrown.
Yeah. I mean, it's fighting for the seats, I suppose. Obviously, there have been lots of like infrastructure development in places like Poland, but some attitude, attitude towards LGBT people hasn't improved that much. So myself, I don't visit Poland that much. I don't have many Polish friends. I don't have any regrets. My always response to people when they ask me why I don't go to Poland so often, I always say I'm too beautiful for Poland. So, so that's my way of dealing with situation. Yeah.
I can't think of a reason why people would be worried about trans people. I can never. So what if you're trans? So what?
Yeah.
What you're never going to affect my life, you know. So I mean, it's just, for me, it's just so silly, and it's a lack of education, and it's a lack. What are they scared of?
Yeah, I mean, it's an input from this big holy book, you know, has to be a man and a woman, and that's it, black and white. Yeah.
Right. Adam and Eve, right? Adam and Eve. You know who Adam and Eve are, yeah?
Yeah.
Right. How was the woman made?
From the bloke, from Adam. That's
written to live for.
Yeah.
That first trans person.
Right. Fair enough.
So, you know, that must have been the first trans person, mustn't it?
Yeah.
Because it's the man in the woman. So there must be the transition from man to woman. Yeah.
I never thought like that.
So Eve was the first trans person.
Yeah. So maybe we shouldn't be so disregarded in the society.
No, but there's no reason for it. It's just it's fear, and religion has caused more damage and more hurt to people than anything else. And I think, well, God, and whoever you want to call it, God, and all the Bible, the Quran, and everything teaches tolerance. Right, but there's none of that comes out.
Yeah, but I think people use as an excuse really to justify, you know, all bad deeds, situations, actions, really, you know, and then hurt others, you know, taking, you know, current situation even in Holy Land, you know, Israel, Palestine. It's just typical religious war, and then obviously lots of money, etc. And other previous wars, crusades, etc. Really, you know, religious wars. So anyway, I'm gonna ask you another question. Yes, you've been very strong actually mentally through your career. What kind of kept you so strong? Tell me, what was your main kind of like asylum, like to step away from this pressure, and then, you know, I'm not so bothered really, you know, I'm not yielding under pressure, etc. Really, I bet you had some, you know, losses, some criticism, you know, media, etc. How did you survive from all of it?
Well, you either sink or swim. And I think when I sat down, thought, right, okay, do I want to do this as a living? Yes. So people are going to criticize me because I'm never going to keep anybody happy.
Yeah.
Sat down and thought, right, who do I really need to keep happy? And there's only one person, and that's me. Because if I'm not happy, what's the point of me doing the job? So what I tried to do was I looked at everything from oils to colour of my shirt to what I ate, what I drank, how much sleep I had, all the other jobs. Like I looked at golfers for their concentration. I looked at boxers for the punching. I looked at weightlifters. I looked at gymnasts. I looked at everybody I could learn off. And then I tried to take that into me. And I used to think, well, I'm lucky to be doing what I'm doing. And as soon as I walk in the ground, there's 40,000 people who would like to do my job.
Yeah, so, definitely. Lots of people would like to be in your shoes. Yeah.
So why should I worry? And at the end of the day, no one's going to die if I make a mistake. I don't want to make any, and I tried really hard not to. But I thought the harder I trained, the better I got. And I think if you sign a contract to do a job of work, then you should put everything into that job of work, shouldn't you?
Yeah.
To be the better. And then who am I cheating if I don't do it? I'm only cheating myself.
Yeah.
Would I cheat myself and cheat my family when I've got a perfect opportunity to be as good as I possibly can be? So it was all about, you know, I don't want to let myself down. I don't want to let anybody else down. And I want to be the best I can be, because why am I going into training every day to be second best? There's no point. Going there to try and be the best, because somebody somewhere is trying to be the best, and I want to be better than them. So for me, it's all about looking at, you know, your motivation, looking at whatever you need, your visualization, looking at everything you could possibly use. To get a little edge on something. So for me, it was about trying to be the best. There's no point in doing sport at that level if you want to come second best, because you're not going to do anything, are you?
Yeah. I mean, tell me, you know, I watched myself football like for 10, I played myself football like for 10 years. I was always amazed by keepers. They would like launch themselves into the air, and they would just land on the, on the pitch, did you have any like, bumps or like, bumps on your body, like, like pains? I was always curious how keepers can do that, just suddenly, launch themselves towards the ball and drop on the ground, really, and then like post game, like injuries or after this or not, or
No,
no?
because if you dive correctly,
Yeah,
it doesn't hurt. And again, if you look at gymnasts, you think
yeah,
gymnasts are the same,
yeah, yeah,
but they're not. They're
yeah,
only they put a lot more pressure on their joints. But you train for it. We trained over big hurdles
yeah, yeah.
with lots and lots of work, and our work was really really hard. And most of the pitches are not nowadays. The pitches are rock hard. Then could be anything. It could be,
Soft. Yeah,
well, sometimes it was flooded, sometimes it was snow,
yeah,
sometimes it was ice, sometimes it was rock hard towards the end of the season. But
yeah,
because of the water in the pitches, they just threw sand on it.
yeah,
So yeah, main if you got the correct technique, it doesn't bother you.
yeah. Okay. Who was your sporting hero? I mean, from any sport. You said you followed like boxers, you followed gymnastics. Who was your favorite, role model?
I probably had two. Pat Jennings, who used to play for Tottenham.
Right. Remember him? Yeah, he
Yeah,
played like up to his 40s,
yeah.
for
Because
Northern Ireland. Yeah,
he was extremely calm.
yeah,
He never got ruffled. He never, if somebody fouled him, he never got bothered with anything. He just made saves with every part of his body. He just had something that when he played, everybody else was calm. And then I looked at Muhammad Ali.
I thought so. I thought so. When you mentioned about boxing, everyone loves the greatest. So yeah,
Oh, because he was a great psychologist.
yeah,
And so goalkeeping is 90% mental and
yeah,
10% physical. So you need to get inside the minds of the other people that you're playing with. Because if I've got to move 10 people about, I've got to know their strengths and their weaknesses and
yeah,
how to motivate them to move them.
yeah,
Sometimes you can give somebody a bollocking and they love it. And
yeah,
other times, if you do give them a bollocking, they go under. So you have to know who to put your arm around and who to have a go at. And then
yeah,
that becomes a skill in itself. You've got four people in front of you most of the time, at least, that you have to move. And the only thing you've got is your voice. So it's got to be your tone of your voice. It's got to be the information you give, and it's got to be the way you give it.
yeah,
In what way is it really harsh? Is it encouraging? And then you look at the people in front of them and try and do the same.
yeah,
So you become your own little psychologist, really.
yeah. Tell me if it's true. I used to have a coach in football. He used to be a keeper like you, and he would always joke because his favorite, like pearls were keepers. Basically, he would always have, soft spot, and he would always say to them, "In order to be keeper, you've got to be a little bit crazy." Is that correct? I mean, when you go like 1-to-1 with the striker, you can get the ball anywhere, on your nose, on your forehead, on your teeth, anywhere. You have to be prepared to scoop the ball, really. Is that you've got to have some extra bravery in you, maybe using more, diplomatic language. But what do you think? You have to be really like very brave, to handle it.
You have to think.
Right.
You have to get yourself in the best position to give yourself the best chance of doing something. Whether it hits you. See, you asked me before, what was your best save? So
Yeah.
if I tip the ball over the bar in the top corner, or
Right.
and hits the ball in my face,
Right.
which is a better save?
I suppose this is more spectacular when you push the ball out. Yeah.
The result is the same.
Yeah.
So I never worried what kind of save it was, as
Yeah.
long as it's a save. If it hits
Yeah.
me in the face and goes away, job done. That's my job. My
Yeah.
job
Yeah.
basically to get somebody else out of the trouble. Because if
Yeah.
I have to make a save, somebody else hasn't done their job.
Yeah.
So I just look at the thing like, okay. And then I tried not to move too much when the forward came in, because they want you to see you move.
Yeah.
So put the ball the other way. If you don't move, then it's like a game of chicken. So
Yeah.
at some stage, they know a defender's closing them down from the back. They know they've got to hit it. And if you can just stand there and just chill, the pressure all comes on them. And there's no pressure on me because everyone expects them to score. So there's
Yeah.
no pressure on me, so I can just afford to stand there and go, okay, beat me. If you can beat me, and then I train as hard as I can, whether it's in the air or on the floor, to be able to do both of them things. So for me, it was about putting the pressure back on other people to do what I wanted them to do. And if I was clever, I started to lean one side, they would see me lean that side and shoot the other, but I was already ready for that. So
Yeah.
it's not a case about being brave. It's just that's an instinct. But to
Yeah.
put yourself in the right position and try and think your way through it, it becomes like chess. You know, you get yourself in positions where you can
Yeah.
fend off the other people.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I was listening to you like a couple of days ago, and you were saying a striker is approaching me, and obviously you are trying to defend, and you would always push pressure on them by kind of thinking that pressure is on you. You've got to score. I just need to defend.
Yeah.
They've got to. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no pressure on me, is there?
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
yeah.
if he scores from 6 yards, he scores from 6 yards. But the more pressure I can put on them with time by not moving, you know, you look now, the goalies are all 6'5",
Yeah.
3 to 5, and when the striker comes through, they all crouch down. So what's that saying to the forward is, oh my God, I'm really struggling on the floor. Please don't put it on there. And then because they go that low, the fella just chips him anyway. And if he just stood up and gone, I'm 6'5", beat me.
Yeah.
He beats you on the floor, he beats you on the floor. But they telling the forwards that where they've got a problem. The idea is you're a chameleon where you don't have any obvious faults. You're good at most things, and then it's up to them worry about you, isn't it?
To figure it out where your weak spots. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but
okay.
Hopefully you don't have a weak spot because you train hard enough.
Yeah.
So that you can do everything.
Yeah. Well, I'm talking to the best keeper in the world, so I think so, because you know, to stay in this level of performance for so long, I think look at the current Premier League. What keeper lasts for so long like you did, 15 years? You know, day in, day out. Not many.
No, they don't.
Not many.
Football's changed where at the moment, when I trained, I was allowed to train for as long as I wanted.
Yeah.
As hard as I wanted.
Yeah.
Now they're not allowed to do that. Now they have a fitness person telling them that they're working too hard. They have a psychologist to tell them that, you know, mentally it's tough for them. So they can't. They're like robots now. Because they only do a certain amount. They can't. How would they get any better? You know, if you play tennis once a week, you're not going to get much better, are you?
Yeah.
And you know,
Is it
tennis every single day for 5 hours? You're going to get better. So their time now, they don't have as much time to do what they want to do, I don't think, or they don't have much time to improve as they used to. So therefore, you know, when you look now, if you can name 10 world-class players, you're doing well, because there ain't 10 world-class players.
Do you kind of trying to imply actually in your days players were more creative, they had more freedom to decide, and I suspect from what you're saying, yes, these days they are told how to play and they have to follow the rule, they follow the pattern really, when in your days you would have more freedom really. Am I right?
Yeah, you're right. And also if you look at the styles of football, we could play Liverpool on Saturday, right, and they were all football. And then we could play Wimbledon on Tuesday. And
Vinnie Jones.
But they worked on smashing the ball as far as they could, putting you under pressure, being aggressive. They worked on getting 45 set pieces, and they would score a goal off one for every 45 set pieces. And they were physical. And then you go somewhere else and play a different way. Now they all play the same way.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's because the top teams have told everybody that the only way to play football is the way they play. Which, if I was a top team, that's what I'd be doing. If I was underneath, I'd be going, no, we need to do what you don't like.
Yeah.
And every time somebody comes along who doesn't do what they like, they say it's not football. And then you've got all the pundits on television telling you that's not the way to play football. Well, the way to play football is to find out what sort of team you've got and try and work out a way again of winning. If I was playing for Everton now against Man City, I wouldn't play like Man City, because they're better at it than we are. So you have to be really physical and really aggressive and make a really uncomfortable game for them. Otherwise, they're better at doing what they do than we are. So Why would you do that? So to me, it's like everyone's been conned into playing a certain way. All the pundits, everybody is going, that's not the way to play football. Well, to me, you've got to get what you've got out your team. And everyone goes, we've got to pass from the back. Why? What's as good? 300 passes and scoring a goal, or 3 passes and scoring a goal? What's the difference?
That it's no difference. Statistics doesn't win the game, basically. And then, people, when Mourinho played against, I remember in Champions League 2010 against somebody, and they won the game, and he's been like called, that they were parking the pass, but they won it.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you do, whether you have 3 passes or 300.
Yeah.
But you have 3 passes, that's not the way you play football.
Yeah. But because I bet Mourinho is not your favorite, so I don't know.
Mourinho, I love Mourinho.
Do you?
He takes all the pressure off all his players. Because everybody talks about Mourinho and they leave his players alone.
Yeah.
So whatever he does, he's a winner.
Right.
He goes and does stuff, and he's different. But his game is all based on
mind.
But also really hard work first. No matter what talent you've got, really hard work first.
Yeah.
And a system that's hard to beat. And they score. They don't score tons of goals, but they'll get 1-0 as 1-0, 1-0, 2-1, 2-1. But they won't score loads of goals because the system is really hard working, really good defensively, and really good proactively. So he plays a slightly different way, and then people say it's not attractive football. Well, when you read the history books in a few years' time and he's won everything, nobody will say it wasn't nice. They'll just say they won this, that, they won this. So there's a real snobbery about football because you must do this, you must do that. No, why? Because the whole point of sport is to win the game, and you have to find different ways. It's just, for me, it's just complete. Well, it's Sky and BT. They all got this. Oh, it's not football, but I'm thinking you're bonkers, man. The idea is to win the game, no matter how you can do it. If I'm playing against you and you're better at doing something than me, then I don't do that, do I? I do something.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Okay. Tell me, who was your favorite keeper, and who is the current these days? Who is your favorite? Tell me. I've got my favorites, and you tell me yours, and I will tell you mine.
I think I like. I'm trying to remember his name now because it's just gone out of my head. The Neuer.
Oh, German keeper.
Yes, I like him because he plays a different way from most other people. He sweeps an awful lot. He's got great arrogance for a goalkeeper. He thinks he can do everything, and he does do everything. He works hard, and I think he's been the best in the world for a long time. I like Buffon. I think he was really good. He wasn't what I call an Italian goalie. He wasn't as spectacular as some of the others.
And
he played a long time, which proves he's great. I think it's difficult. I like the lad at Liverpool. He's decent.
Alisson.
Okay. Yeah. But world football. I'll ask you this question: is it a world-class goalkeeper now? And you'll say maybe yes. And I'll say, if they're world-class, why can't they catch the ball?
There's always risk, you've got goal, you've got a team, you've got strikers, you've got the keeper, and it's also this kind of like degree of accidents. There's always a bit of like, I remember this strange goal Liverpool was playing against somebody, and suddenly blown balloon landed on the field, and the ball ricocheted, and you confused Reina. So those things happen.
Well, if you the idea of training, right, is to catch the ball. And then you never have to make another save. Like the idea is to stop the first one and never give the second one away, so you don't actually get a rebound. Some of it's really hard if you're at full stretch, but these days it's all well within their reach that they push away. And they say that the ball moves. Well, if you train with that ball, then you should be able to catch it. There's no. It doesn't make any difference. For me, again, they've come into this way of, well, we can't possibly catch it. Why can't you catch it? If you want to be the best, then you're going to be the one who's going to catch it. aren't you? But
Yeah.
they all settle in for being second best, and that's what I don't like. They don't go that extra mile to be better than everybody else.
Yeah.
So for me, when I look at them now, I'm going, well, okay, they just push it away. Why don't they catch it?
Yeah. I
There's no,
think I like Schmeichel when he played. He was
yeah,
pretty good. Yeah, yeah. And his son wasn't much worse, really, playing for Leicester. Yeah.
he was far worse.
Yeah, but obviously he wasn't as tall as the senior one. Yeah. Yeah.
But also he made more saves on his goal line because he didn't come for as many crosses as his dad.
Yeah.
So the crossing element, he didn't dominate the 6-yard box or the 8-yard box. He made
Yeah.
great line where if he'd come and caught it in the first place, he wouldn't have to do that.
I
So
think
the
yeah,
goalkeeper
go.
is to cut it out at the earliest times he can.
I think Schmeichel copied your style, I suppose.
Well, he had his own style. That's the thing, is every goalkeeper's got their own style.
Yeah.
So if you're coaching somebody, you don't want to kill their own style. You
Yeah.
want to be them. Otherwise, you've got to fit your information into them, and they've got to use it the best they can. Some of the information, if I've got a 5'9" goalie, it's going to be different to a 6'5" goalie. So they've got to fit to what they are. And I think it's just like being a normal human. You take information in and you think, okay, is that relevant for me? If it is, I'll use it. If it's not, I don't. I listen to every bit of advice I get.
Yeah.
And sometimes it doesn't work for me because it's not me.
Yeah.
So
I liked Kahn also, Oliver Kahn.
Yeah,
I remember. Yeah, he was quite solid in 2002 World Cup. He got them to the final through his good style, but in the final he made a couple mistakes from Ronaldo. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So your favorite player from the field? Ian Rush?
It's hard to have one favourite, really, because there's loads of players I like, but they're all in different positions.
Yeah.
It's really hard. I think Ian Rush was the best player I played with, I think. But again, because he was so efficient.
Yeah.
He was just really clinical, and he was a great defender. So if we played for Wales, we'd just defend, and he'd get one chance and he'd score. So we knew we weren't that great, but we knew we had him. So we just all our game was based around him.
Yeah.
He'd get one chance, he'd score.
Yeah, you had Sparky also, Mark Hughes. He was pretty good.
Yeah, and because of the way we had, Mark mostly played in midfield.
Yeah.
And he got booked within 10 minutes at every game he played.
Of course.
So that wasn't, he liked to tackle, so that wasn't his best position. So really, we had him, Dean Saunders, and Rushy. We had three people that couldn't all play, so they tended to play a Sparky midfield where, it wasn't his best position. So that's just trying to fit all your best players into a team.
Yeah, I mean, I always was confusing actually Ian Rush with John Aldridge. They looked alike a bit.
Yeah, a little bit, but Sparky.
Yeah, so what's your favorite player these days? Ronaldo, Messi, Lewandowski, Mbappe? Who's your Ibrahimovic?
No. I think Messi for me has been the best one.
Right.
By miles.
Right.
I think he hasn't got the physique of the other ones. He's got the talent.
Yeah.
What I do like about him and Ronaldo is that the first and foremost, they all work hard. They never ever give less than 100%. Never. And then when some of the other players come through, they don't want to work as hard as them two. And if you're a forward, you look at them two, you go, what's the first thing they do? They work hard. And it's funny because they work the hardest and they have the most success. So there's got to be in now, isn't it? So if you're a forward, you look at them and go, okay. And I think because they've lasted so long, Ronaldo scored 2 the other day for Portugal. They've lasted so long that they always deliver. And when players that always deliver, they're hard to find. And in the modern game, there's very rarely, or there's not that many players who deliver all the time.
Yeah.
Griezmann, I like Griezmann. So I thought he was decent. In the Premier League, they're all Kevin De Bruyne is great.
Yeah,
So, and you've got to say Mo Salah's world class.
yeah, yeah,
He keeps delivering. You know, and you look at some of the other teams, you're thinking, well, they're nearly good.
yeah,
You know, they're nearly good, and you're thinking, yeah, but they're not. They're not world class. And I'm thinking, it's about people delivering week in, week out. It's
yeah,
about when you put on a team sheet, you go, he's a 9 out of 10. He's a 9 out of 10 every single week, every single game, and there ain't many of them knocking about.
yeah. Haaland, do you see him really a future as a top world player?
Yeah, I think he's never going to stop scoring goals.
Yeah,
Unless he gets injured. But he looks massive on the
yeah.
pitch. But I've seen him in real life, and he's not.
Okay.
I thought, wow, is that him? And he's not. He's one of them players that when he puts a kit on, he looks bigger than what he is.
Yeah,
So for him, he's a good goal scorer. He's a great goal
yeah,
scorer, to be fair. So,
yeah,
but he hasn't done it for long enough yet to be considered great. He's really good, but he's not in Messi or Ronaldo's class yet, is he? He's
yeah,
got years do that and seasons do that. If he keeps going like he is, then yeah, and you can see him going from Man City eventually to Real Madrid or Barcelona and finish his career with one of them. I think.
yeah.
I think he's brilliant, to be fair.
I like also Mbappe. He's very fast. He was good in 2018 World Cup, and in the last World Cup final, he scored 3 goals by himself, mostly. Yeah. So
Good player. He's another player. I don't see enough of him, and for me, yeah, he done okay. I think there's a lot of them that do really good stuff, and there's lots of them that do really good stuff sporadically.
yeah, yeah,
So the ones that you want are the ones that do it on a regular basis over a number of seasons, and then you can say, yeah, they're great.
yeah. Tell me, how did it feel to play against Welsh players? Like you played, they were your adversary in the Premier League or in the first division. How did it feel to play against Ian Rush? Was it easier for you because you would know how he would run, how he would flick the ball, or Sparky or anyone else? Tell me. Oh, yeah. I'm just curious.
Ian Rush gave me more injuries than anybody else.
Yeah.
He did my knee, he did my ankle, he knocked my tooth out, he gave me stitches.
Right.
Yeah.
So there was no sentiment really. It was like the brutal battle, basically.
Once you cross the line, there's no friends.
Right.
But yeah, I used to enjoy playing against them.
Yeah.
And sometimes you come out on top, and sometimes you didn't. If you come out on top, it was great. But I think in the main, yeah, I always enjoy playing against better players.
Right.
They were more of a challenge.
Yeah.
The better player and the better the team, the better it is, because it's always a challenge mentally. You know, you get different types of people, and the higher up you go, the difference is their brains. Their brains work quicker, so you want to see if you're on par with them thinking, and they see things really quick. So you want to try and get yourself into position really quick. So yeah, it becomes more of a battle, and also it was great to play against with your mates really, and then to play against the best teams was the best thing, because then you're going, I want to see where I am in regards to them, and if I can match them, then I'm as good as them.
Your best defender that you played with, or could be center back, full back, that you felt safe, that you had them at the front. Who was your favorite? In the same.
Kevin Ratcliffe. Kevin Ratcliffe.
Okay.
He was at Everton, and he wasn't big.
Yeah.
But he was lightning quick.
Right.
And we had a thing where he wouldn't always tackle somebody, depending on where they were on the edge of the box. So if they were on a certain position on the edge of the box, then he would let them shoot, because the angle was good for me to save it.
Yeah.
So he wouldn't try and tackle him, so he wouldn't get a deflection. He would open his body so they could shoot at me.
Yeah.
Knowing in his idea, knowing that I would save it. And also, if he made a mistake, you wouldn't have to rush out with him, because you knew he was quick enough to recover.
Yeah. So you must have played for long enough to kind of understand each other, where you would be in the field, really, to where you were, how you would position yourself, suppose.
Yeah. It's easy with him because he's quick. So,
right.
They can afford to stay right up. So it's nice. So I can be further out, and then anything over the top, he's lightning quick. So we get there for most people. and if he didn't, he would always be like a foot behind him.
Okay.
Pressure on them. So yeah, for me, he was a good thinker, and he was also quick as lightning.
Yeah,
and
magic. Yeah,
nasty at times when he had to be.
yeah. Magic question, Nev. What happened with your tash since you stopped playing? Was it your lucky charm when you were playing? I'm just curious.
No, I did shave off a few times.
Yeah.
When it went white, I thought I didn't want it.
Right.
So it's more white now than it is black, so I just leave it.
I've seen, like, also Ian Rush. He also shaved off. He also was wearing a bit of tash when he played. Yeah.
So I let it grow for a few weeks, and then I just take everything off because it makes me feel cleaner.
Right. I thought you were always wearing, because I've seen you only, in the goal and playing. So there must have been days that without tash, basically. So anyway, okay. Tell me, actually, obviously it's not the most exciting question, but what did you make like stopping your career? What was the point, crucial point? Okay, I need to just call it a day. When did you? I know that you played until 2002. Am I right or not?
Something like that, yeah. I played a bit further down as well. I just played as long as I thought it was okay. I'd retired, then I had to come out of retirement to play for Torquay.
Yeah.
A bit further on than that, and then really it got to the point where the lower down you go, the worse the managers are.
Yeah.
The more they see you as a threat for their jobs.
Yeah. All right.
The less they want you around.
Yeah.
So I sort of went into a bit of coaching then. So for me, it was it's difficult because I think if I'd have chose a different club once. After Torquay, I'd probably been okay. I'd have probably enjoyed it, but like I say, the managers always think that you're after their job.
Yeah.
If you lose 3 games, he's looking at you, and he's thinking, "Oh, he wants my job." And I thought, I don't want anybody's job.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in doing that. I want to do something else.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I did what I did, but probably I should have not played towards the end. Because I wasn't enjoying it that much.
Okay, right. Any moments that you are proud of when you played? I'm just curious.
Obviously, your first game for Wales is obviously
yes.
Your first game for Everton's a big thing. So to be proud, I think. Do you know what makes me the proudest?
Yeah.
It's when I walk into Everton and everybody's nice to me.
Okay. Oh, that's nice.
They're the people that you're playing for.
That's nice.
You know what I mean? Nice. Normally, people at the top, I don't really care about. Yeah. But if you walk in there and the people on the street like you and they respect what you've done, then I think that's the best thing that can come out of it.
So then you go on the stands. Do they do a bit of chanting when they see you, or no? They'll just say hello, Nev, or how do they?
They just say hello normally. They're really nice. To be fair, even the Liverpool fans are nice. Right. So wherever I go, it's usually, same as Twitter. They're nice with me on Twitter, even the Liverpool fans.
Yeah, so it's not that bad like between Celtic and Rangers.
No, I don't. I very rarely get that off Liverpool fans.
Yeah.
Very rarely. So yeah, it's just. I mean, obviously I get odd bits, but in the main, I think if you do all right, for Everton, then most people in Liverpool respect you.
Yeah.
So if you can gain the respect of the Everton fans, then and they're harsh because rightly so, because it's their club. So if you do them and they respect you, that's great. And then normally the Liverpool fans are good with me. Wherever I go, normally it's okay. So I'm quite lucky, I think.
So you go very often to watch games, Everton games, or?
No, I don't get time really.
All right.
I went up the other week, and they lost. So yeah, I might go to the Chelsea game. Yeah, I don't know, but I'm usually doing something else.
Right. Yeah, I know you are very busy, very committed. Tell me, if your family was playing a role in your career, like like support or anything, was your safe place to come back? I kind of remember your interviews that you were saying that from one of your interviews that I watched, that you always wanted to get back after the game straight to the family, even if there were some celebrations, you would go home and that's it. You didn't want to drink. And how did it work for you, or you missed company of your players? Or
No, I think once I'd done the job, I didn't want to hang about.
yeah,
Done the job, and my home is my home.
right.
That's where I want to be.
Yeah,
I think once I've done my job, then great, I can go home now.
yeah.
And that's where I relax, and that's where I'm happiest.
Yeah, I've seen also that you were dreaming about coaching Wales, and you've been caretaker like 1999.
Yeah,
So
I think
was it very long?
I only did one game.
Oh, right. Okay. So
I
it
did
wasn't
it.
probably long enough to enjoy it, I suppose.
Well, I enjoyed it as what it was, and I did the 16s and the 19s as well.
Right.
So I did for a while. So that was good. That was good fun. But it's changed now. So I work a bit with the FA now, the Welsh FA, on
Right.
partnerships. So I bring charities into the Welsh FA at the moment and see if we can build partnerships with the charities.
Yeah.
So I took one of my first ones. I took Pride Cymru in to see them.
Yeah.
Which was nice. So I think they do something with Pride Cymru anyway. So that was nice. So I can take all the people that I met on Twitter, like the Samaritans and people like that. I can take.
Yeah. It's a great stuff you do on Twitter. Yeah.
But it's for me. I enjoy that job because when I go to the games now, I take 4 or 5 charities and we sit down with the CEO and see where we can get a partnership going with them.
Yeah.
And then we sit down, have some tweet and watch the game, and they get their connections as well with each other. So yeah, for me, it's a great little job for me, and I get to see the games, and I do both men's and the women's, so it's great for me.
Yeah. Okay. Your career in teaching. What did you make you going into teaching? Your interest, by accident this happened, or obviously you need to plan your life after you hung up your boots, really? How did you end up being a teacher or teaching assistant? What was your ambition to do that? What was your main drive?
It wasn't.
Right.
I went to manage Dover.
Right.
And I didn't realise what they were doing behind the scenes. They wanted to get relegated because they wanted to sort of go into liquidation and then start again. So they sacked me, and then I got a job taking 5 or 6, 7 people off benefits and then turning them up to be coaches and taking them into the schools. And then from there, I went to a special school in Ashford in Kent, and I did some with some really special needs kids there. And while I was there was another school came in and said, "Look, can you come and do this in our school?"
Yeah.
So I went to their school. Then he said, "Right, you need a qualification now to do it." So I did my PGCE in, I think it was a 3-year course. We did it in 2, and I did that. And then from there, really, I did my MBQ stuff, my assessors and all that. So we did a load of that. So yeah, I think because I was always looking after the apprentices when I was a senior goalie, it's quite natural.
Okay.
So it's quite natural. And then when we did our MBQ stuff, we had people from all walks of life, and it was good. It was challenging at times.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was a bit like a dressing room, because sometimes you walk in and you don't know what you're walking into. So
yeah, that's so lots of like jacks in the boxes. When you walk in the new dressing room, you don't know who you're gonna meet. How people would respond. There's always some banter, some jokes, pranks, etc. Really, yeah.
Yeah, so we had people from to sort of just come out of prison. We had people on parole stuff. We had people on, who I knew had just been, in the behaviour school and stuff like that. So
yeah,
it was challenging at times. And we did, when I was at Dover, we did some of the refugees at Dover, which was an eye opener. So they were, when people go on about boat people and all that, they were the politest people I've ever come across in my life.
Yeah.
They were, for me and my wife and the coaches, incredibly polite. They'd fight amongst themselves.
Yeah.
And to wear boots was hard, or get them to wear trainers because they didn't want to wear them when we played football. But in the main, incredibly polite people. And then one day they were just all gone. So the government just moved them off. So I never seen them again, which is a shame because they were nice people.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna ask you another question. What's your main kind of like ambition to help like all those people? You know, obviously we just touch on trans people, LGBT, but people like people who facing problems with addiction, drug addiction, sex workers. You know, what's your kind of obviously you're very like social person. I mean, I know your political views. You are a Labour supporter. What's your kind of why you doing this? You know, maybe it's a very trivial question. What's your view on this? Yeah,
Because I can.
right.
Now, I mean, I did. The sex workers have started to get a union together now, and they've been doing some work. So I tweeted yesterday or the day before to see if they wanted to do a takeover. I think the one thing I think is that people need to be educated, and by seeing it on my Twitter, they've got a choice. They can either engage or sit back and look at what they do and understand. Look, when I started to talk to trans people, I'd never heard of trans people. It was only through you and other people that I got to know what it's like. So for me, it's not about me telling people about trans people. It's about you
listening to us. Yeah,
because you're the experts. So what I try and do with Twitter is get people on that and tell their story. And I like to put on little charities because they never get a look in normally. I like some, but I also like the little ones because there's some fantastic little charities out there who do amazing work who never get a helping hand. So I try and look. I've been refused a few times. By charities that they don't want to do it, which I find a bit strange. But I know a couple of what's it called? Conservation charities didn't want to come on, which I found strange because they want to save the planet. So I found them strange. But in the main, it's just we've just started off a thing called 11 Speed, which is a charity in memory of Gary Speed. So we're doing that around mental health. We had our first dinner last week. There was 400 people there. We're going to go to Liverpool. We're going to go to Sheffield, Bolton, Leeds, Newcastle, and North Wales, and use that money then to give to mental health charities. On Friday, I think I've got a meeting about setting up my own foundation. So I'd like to try and do that, and then I can do what I want to do really, which is just I like to connect people together.
Yeah.
I mean, so if I know there's a trans girl somewhere that's on her own, then I can push it into other people and say, look, these have been through the same experience. These have got this. If it's somebody who comes on and I don't want something different, then you go, okay, well, I know these and I know them. Maybe you can, Alan does the drug and addiction and stuff like that. The sex workers can talk openly about what they do, and most people don't understand what they do. Then there's, so there's all sorts of people trying to do great work out there. And I'm trying to, my big ambition at the moment is to get Wales to have a mental health radio station.
Okay.
Because nobody's got one.
Yeah, it's a good point. Yeah.
So we're at the moment, I'm trying to talk to a few people to try and get that off the ground, and that would only run from like 10 o'clock at night till 6 o'clock in the morning. So everybody would have something to listen to, and maybe join in with. So
maybe call in. Yeah,
and then just have the right people in there. But it's still at an early stage. It's taken me a year to get it to this stage. So, but people are interested. I've just got to push it over the line and maybe have a trial somewhere. We may going to trial it through a hospital radio to start with.
Yeah.
And in an area and try and go from there. And then if that's successful, then we might be able to approach the rest of the hospitals or some of the universities and try and, use it. And I think if we got one, I think it'd be quite good for Wales, to be fair, because what's like at 10 o'clock at night, you're on your own. You've got all you've got is your head.
Yeah.
And then you're thinking about stuff. But if you can listen to someone else, there's other people going through the same things, and some advice and some good guidance and some meditation and some advice lines or whatever it is, then I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, you would be surprised how many people contact me, people like LGBT, trans, cross-dressers, all walks of life, people who struggle to come out. They ask me, they've been asking me, how did I do this? How did I did that? How did I come out at work? How did I come out, you know, to the family? Where did I get my makeup from? Where do I buy my dresses from? You know, there are lots of people that live in the closet, in hiding, in fear, in guilt and shame, with no funds, rejected by the families. And then my dream would be set up kind of like charity for those people, to have like fund to support those people. You know, there are people that on benefits, believe me, and it's not a lot, and those people struggle. They don't have places to live, they have to share. I've had to share for a long time, since my divorce until a couple years ago. I started living in my own place, basically. And then another dream I've got, I would like to see a talk show for LGBT community in the UK, bit like Ellen DeGeneres in America. That would be my dream.
Well, why don't you do it on YouTube?
Maybe.
Well,
I need to.
You could do it on YouTube.
Yeah. Nothing is stopping me from doing it. Yeah.
No. So do it. And also, why don't you set up your own charity?
Yeah.
See if there's any grants out there. To see for different things.
Yeah, you need to guide me on this. Maybe I will use your experience.
I just go and ask people.
Yeah.
That's all I do is ask and ask and ask.
Yeah.
A lot of the time it's a no, but the other times it's a yes, and then everything's okay.
Yeah, I kind of don't know which doors to knock on, and then obviously
knock on them all.
Yeah. I mean, also this political situation, it's not really LGBT friendly at the moment. I'm not involved in any political battles, etc. But this could have changed for better, and we wish it will at some point, sooner or later. But it will be more friendly. So yeah. Well, the last question really. Your unfulfilled dreams and passions. What you want to do? You know that you haven't done it, but you're dreaming about.
My mental health radio station.
Right. Okay. So that's your.
If I can leave that.
Yeah.
Time I die, I'll be happy.
Right. Fair enough.
Because I know how many people that would help.
Yeah.
And I think if we can get it off the ground, it'll be great. It'll be something that's worth doing, and I think it's something that's needed.
Yeah.
That to me is what I really want to do.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try and push that as hard as I can.
Yeah.
And see, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But I think somewhere somebody will do it eventually.
You just need to try it. The only answer you might hear is no, so it's worth trying, you know. But I'm sure you will get funds. Yeah.
Well, I know if we can go through the hospital radios, then I think there's a chance of doing it. I know the Welsh government are semi-interested in it, but we just need all to get round the table and say, right, we need this to happen.
Yeah.
If it happens, it'll be good. It'll be good for all the people who train in the colleges, the universities, the hospitals, as well as the Samaritans and all the other people that can join in as well.
Yeah.
So a collective thing for everybody. And maybe, you know, each hospital can run it for a night, and that way it'll go all across Wales.
Yeah. Please tag me in on Twitter. I would love to follow it. I wasn't aware of it. Listen, it was amazing pleasure and honor to have you on the call. I'm not sure how much you've got time for this evening, but it was amazing. I'm sure we will do it again. So, and I appreciate such a short notice, really was amazing honor. I really want to say thanks for all your support, for being so open, you know, to people in special needs, people, LGBT people. I'm saying on behalf of all of us. And then hopefully we will speak, you know, on another chat, you know, another call soon. So I'm sure it will be part 2 or more in the future. So
on your YouTube next time.
Yes, maybe. This actually post will end up eventually on YouTube anyway. So I've got my own page on YouTube. So, and I can share full footage with you if you like, really, to share it. Really, Yeah, I will share obviously on my social media feeds, basically. That's what I do really. So yeah, it's just beginning of my journey with it. So I'm still learning. But anyway, amazing. Really appreciate, all the best to you, all your dreams to be fulfilled, lots of, good days, good nights, and then all positive people around you, really lovely people wish you. Yeah, thanks a lot. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Lovely to talk to you.